What's up, everyone? I'm Chad. This is C2 Fab, and you're watching See Stuff, Do Stuff. That's my channel. Anyways, I am doing a kind of unique project today where I've been commissioned to make like this little short saber sword thing that's used for opening champagne bottles, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So here we are at my fancy computer. That is my plasma table. That is a piece of Core 10 steel. I'm opening fire control. I've already done the boring stuff, which is draw this thing up, but we are gonna cut onto this piece of plate the shape of a saber blade. All right, so it's open, and here we go. Ta-da. All right, so there it is. So those three little pieces are the knuckle guard thing where you hold on to it and it goes like around your knuckle. So that'll get bent into shape, and then obviously the blade with the tang. So let's get this cut. Those are curtains. Oh, it's not gonna work. Did I just turn the machine on? Dang it. All right, from this to that. Got a little cleanup and stuff to do, but turned out good. These last couple parts here. All right, let's clean the dross off these. Yeah, you see these kind of like boogers and stuff that are all over these things? Oh, focus, man. Focus, man. Well, there's like boogers all over this from where it was like melted. So we're gonna knock that all off. Grinder came unplugged. Holy shit, that was stupid. Well, apparently this doesn't have safety on it. Oh my god. Blooper reel. It's amazing. My Metabo has a safety, so if you plug it in, it won't start if the switch is on. Come on, Bosch. I mean, it's my own stupid fault. Alright, so the client wants to have a hand-hammered look on this, so we're going to go over to the anvil, kind of put some dents in it, make it look like it's forged. I'm not going to even use heat, I don't think. We just want to kind of give it a little bit of character. And then I'll probably go and try to grind the edge into it. Like, this thing is going to be sharp, but it's not meant to, like, it's not going to be hardened and stuff, so it's not like a true knife blade. It's more decorative. And it really only needs to like open one wine bottle, or not wine bottle, champagne bottle at this ceremony thing. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, now you can see it in the light. It's dimpled all over the place, so it looks like it's hand forged. I got it pretty straight. Not perfect, but again, it's decorative. So yeah, that's where we're at. All right, so I've been playing with this a minute, and this is what I think I'm gonna do. This ends up curved back around to here as your like knuckle guard thing. But I like that kind of little step to detail, because then I can like roll this in an interesting way to get some detail in it. I'm gonna weld across here and then weld these two plates together, and it'll all be ground down and filed into pretty shape. So I just put the correct welding lead back in this thing. Let's plug her in and let's get going. Betcha. Close that. Come over here. Turn the machine on. Just start with a tack. Okay, got a whole nother screw together. How we look? Where's that little hammer at? There you go. There we go. That's pretty. Pretty cool. Alright, so I think some grinding on that. A little bit of heat to get that bend right on the handguard thing. And then I'm going to be ready to take it home and try to put a wooden handle on it. Which I don't quite know how I'm going to do yet. Dang nabbit, it didn't record. Well, I bent it. I didn't actually use any heat. I just shoved the end of that into there and bent it over until I was close, and then I hammered on the top of it to close it up. But that turned out really good. All right, grind time. What's up, everyone? Day 2 on the Saber build. So here it is. This is where I'm at right now. I've got my trusty old bandsaw out, and I purchased a spindle from the hardware store, like for stairs or railing, and I'm gonna cut this up and turn it into my handle. So yeah, the spindle was like $8 at the hardware store. I was looking at like blocks of wood and dowel rods and all this other stuff that would involve, like, you know, turning and a lot of effort to get to this point. And it was gonna be like $35 worth of little bits and bobs of wood. And I was like, this is insane. What can I do instead? And I was just perusing around in the aisles and I found that thing. So, solution. And it's a good, cheap one that's already basically pre-finished. I'm gonna screw it up a little, so I'm gonna have to finish it some again and do a little bit of gluing and things, but I think it's gonna turn out really sweet. Okay, I'm gonna turn you around and we're gonna get this thing cut up. All right, my goal here, I'm gonna test it on this end first, because this isn't the end I want the other end, but I'm gonna test first. What I wanna do is I wanna try to see how accurate I can be at splitting this thing completely in half because that's what I need for when I actually, I'm gonna cut this thing in half and then make a notch in the middle of it so the tang gets sandwiched in between the two halves and glued back together, and then I'll drill holes through it and put some pins in it, and it'll be like super strong. All right, so here's the test. My goal here is basically, like, I would, if this were the end that I was going to use, I would probably cut it here as well, so that this is my handle. Well, it'd be like, this is my handle. And what I'll do is I'll open this up, and I'm going to cut a, sorry, I'm shaking. I'm gonna dig a cavity out of this so that it goes around the tang, if that makes sense. Obviously this one's too small, the other side is fatter. That's the side I want to use, but I wanted to practice first to make sure I could get a nice straight cut. And looks like I did pretty good. So I like that. All right, let's do the real side. Okay, so I don't do a whole lot of woodworking, but here you go. That seems pretty good. Now I got this nice decorative bit down here. It actually feels really comfortable in the hand. I'll trim this down here off or sand it around something. Haven't quite decided, but I wanted to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. But that actually feels really nice in the hand. Cool. So I've drawn in this box here, what I'm gonna hog out. Close enough. It's gonna be a little crude anyways, because I gotta figure out how to dig this all out of there. Found this chisel that happens to be just about perfectly the right size. There we go. All right, so that'll stay there. This is with the grain, so I think that's good. Then you scar the edges first. Makes me feel like I'm on that Forged in Fire TV show a little bit. I mean, I know I cheated a little bit because they don't get to use a plasma table to cut out the blank, and I'm also not using good steel to make a blade out of, but it's still fun, still challenging. All right, it took a lot. I spent like another hour on this, I think, but I've got that thing tight on there. Like, I can squeeze it all the way down. It's like just barely snug on that tang, which is good. So I'm gonna get some epoxy this thing, clamp it, and come back to it in a couple of hours. Hooray! That's pretty good though, right? That looks nice. A little bit of glue and some clamps. And now we wait 2 hours. I use this stuff After the glue was dry, I sanded this so it's not proud anymore. Did it on both sides. And then I hit the whole handle with some sandpaper, and then I hit it with the torch to burn it a little bit to give it some character, and then I put red oak stain over the top of it. And then on the blade, I hit it with a little bit of black oxide to kind of darken it up and give it some purples and stuff. They don't show up very well on camera, but in real life they're very pretty. And then I finished grinding the edge so it's actually sharp now. Just a little touch-up work here and there, sand and stuff, smooth. And then wipe the whole thing down with acetone. And I put some little feet on the bottom of it, like little rubber pads, so when it's sitting on this guy's desk, it's not hurting anything. There's a nameplate that goes here, but I can't show you that. All right, that's a wrap on this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me build this champagne saber. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!